Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of Season 3, the ITK Soccer Show. Myself and Dan and John are here with the annual prediction show, our third one, as it is Season 3. We've a lot to talk about. We haven't been around in a few weeks. We're going to go over all the news, do our predictions for the entire season. We're going to have a little bit of a preview of the first round of games in the Premier League as well. And we're going to give you our fantasy code as well to keep up the tradition of that.
This is my favourite show of the year.
It's so much fun.
And then my second favourite show of the year is the prediction results.
Yeah, because it's all about us. It's not about the football.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why we do this.
I always win, and I'm going for the hat-trick.
Yeah, it'd be pretty impressive if you did win again. But I've
Why don't you just keep winning every year?
I've manipulated the point system so
Neill can try and win.
No. But it does make it a little bit more competitive, let's say.
But it's all the same. We're all doing the same predictions.
Yeah, but it allows for more wacky answers to potentially get you more points.
Wacky.
So we'll get into that in a minute. I really would love to just do it now, but we better talk about all the news. I want to ask you something. So we had a Copa America this year because they seem to do 2 or 3 a year now.
No, they only did it last year because it was the
anniversary. I know. And we had the Euros. We had record signings, but it just feels like there wasn't much football this summer. Am I mad?
It's been brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is for Euros, Copa America, mad friendlies, all the mad transfers and managers, Dundalk and the league, the Champions League. It's great. I think really good stuff.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't been watching the friendlies, and maybe it's because last season, as a Liverpool fan, I did so distraught. I just haven't paid attention to any football since
I've been
scored
following
that
a lot
now.
I suppose with the Dundalk thing has been great, but
I
think it's been I was very upset there was no Emirates Cup this year. I always love the Emirates Cup.
Arsenal were sick of not winning.
Arsenal always finish fourth in that.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Well, I don't know, but I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about the league starting and stuff like that. So let's talk about the transfers that have happened most recently. The Pogba thing, I suppose. I don't really know what we can add to it.
Just watch the music video.
So how did this introduction take place with a music video?
Well, first it was the Manchester airport tweeting that please stop calling us. There's been no private jets. And it was the most obvious transfer that was ever going to happen ever. Because Real Madrid went, nah. This is the only summer, I think, in the history of football ever that Real Madrid are going to finish the summer with a profit. Because they've just sold players. But so United outbid everyone by a comfortable amount. I think Real Madrid were like 60 million. And United
I think it depended a lot if they could get rid of Ham. Probably couldn't offload him, and they're like,
And they wanted to.
And maybe Zidane.
But they
probably has a little bit more power because he's Zidane.
They offloaded Jesse. And me and Dan were talking about, is that a good signing for PSG?
I think he's very good.
I think he's good and he's quick. I think they're missing out on an Ibrahimovic, someone who'll just win the league by himself.
Cavani's going to play centre now. He'll finally live his dream. Lucas on the right.
Is Cavani still there? Didn't it look like he wasn't even starting in the Champions League towards the...
He was hurt?
Well,
he
also was dropped. He was being a bit of a bollocks, was he not?
Oh, well, the fact they haven't signed a centre forward, well, they're already going to put all their eggs in Jesse's basket.
It's a good basket.
Anyway, back to the Pogba thing.
I don't know. 100 million, if it's even that. I think it's one of those where I know it best when Liverpool sign a player where it's like, yeah, this is the bid, but Sky Sports are like, it's 100 million for. I've heard rumours 82. Maybe Juventus get 82, and the agent gets.
I've heard they spent 91 million pounds, I think.
Yeah, it's and then with add-ons it could go over £100, £100 million. So that would be the
probably
record.
A Champions League win this year. And
so you have to remember, and I tried to clarify this in one of our predictions. We over here hear 2 different figures all the time because we hear euro and sterling. Yeah. Well, as in the UK press, it's obviously just reported as one thing. But I, like Dan, heard 91 sterling with add-ons. 2 seasons from now, it would rise to 109. Yeah. So that's ridiculous.
It's fucking crazy.
It's mental money, but on the other hand, I don't know. I don't think Pogba put on that great of a show at the Euros. I thought he was great against Ireland and had a few other and Iceland, but
that's not.
People are
forgetting he was dropped against Albania, but
yeah,
that was true. But then, but so was Griezmann, and
he's played a tournament.
Yeah, and they weren't playing him in his right position. But
then they came on and won the game comfortably.
You could say that Pogba was played out of position quite a few times.
Pogba was given it. Look, the one thing I'd say about Pogba, right? The last 2 seasons we've seen Bale money, the Suarez money. He went massive last year. No one really big went last year, did they?
Sterling.
Yeah.
Well, it's 50 million.
Yeah, but
I'm not counting Premier League prices because they're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
don't think anyone thought Sterling is a good player anyway. But I'm talking about like the world class players who were up for sale the last few years.
Mm.
Bale won Madrid the Champions League, with the goal.
Sure.
Suarez
and
got the winning goal, or got the most crucial goal. He got the second goal in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
He also outscored Messi last year and Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
He was outstanding. They're ready-made players. This guy, you're buying potential. And I'm not saying he's not going to be amazing. He has all the tools. He's physically so imposing and quick as anything. You're buying potential for 90, 100 million? I'm sorry, am I the only one who thinks this is actually crazy?
I do think the money...
It's crazy.
I do think the money's mad, and I think he's a bit better than potential. But on the other hand, I did watch the 90 minutes of the Community Shield where the starting midfield was Rooney, Fellaini and
Carrick.
Like a very old Michael Carrick, who's not the player he was. Like
they definitely need him.
Needed legs.
He'll obviously improve the team, and they haven't had legs in that team really since Darren Fletcher actually left.
Yeah,
to be honest. But like, look.
Did you guys see
it's outrageous stuff.
Did you see the caricature that Goal UK put up today with Pogba and his agent? Oh, they're in a lot of trouble. They're in an awful lot of trouble.
What did they do?
It's a picture of a Black Lives Matter protest happening, and then up in a dream bubble above this scene of chaos is Pogba really racially discriminately depicted, and his agent eating caviar with money falling around them, as if like Pogba can't be aware of issues black people are having because he was sold for that much money. But the actual drawing itself is racist. Like he has all this jewelry on, but he's got loads of absolutely all the things you think of. But he's got like that kind of African, the tribal African thing where they've loads of rings around their neck to elongate their neck. Like his jewelry is depicted like that, so he's a really long neck and stuff. Like it's fucking. I can't believe you guys didn't see it.
No, I saw one that was on a slightly lighter note that apparently was going around the Juventus fans. That was it's a picture of Pogba and someone else celebrating they had last season where they touch each other's fingers.
Oh yeah.
And instead they've like photocopied, got rid of Pogba, just pile some money.
It's fair. By the way,
sorry, so Pogba hit or miss? Like, would he be player of the season?
We'll get there. We'll
like.
Well, we'll see.
Well, yeah,
this is in the question. I do have questions about biggest flop and biggest best signing. So, and I'll explain the rules about that because it's a little bit complicated. UEFA announced John Stones because City forgot to. Yeah, City had to declare their Champions League squad, and they did so. So when it was released on UEFA's website, it beat them to the punch about announcing John Stones. It was outrageous.
It's the most mental thing I've ever seen in my life. Like.
Surely every year this could potentially happen, and it might force clubs to announce things early. But
like for like a team like Man City with Pep Guardiola, it's so unprofessional. Like
maybe they just don't care. It's just very like
well, obviously paying that money for him.
He's
one of the worst centre halves of the league.
That is as ridiculous. That's more ridiculous. His price tag.
I can understand why Pep has bought him though, because he's a good ball playing centre half.
Yeah, but
that's what he wants. But
this you have to remember, this valuation has been around for over a year.
Look, Ashley Williams. We'll get into in a minute. He went for 12 million to replace him.
Yeah,
Ashley Williams is a very good centre half and can also play it from the back.
And he's just a little bit older.
And he was bought. No, he's got 30, 31.
Yeah,
but they need experience in that back four.
But the Stones had this evaluation last year during the Chelsea saga. Same valuation. It's like no matter what, even though he had a bad season, it's like, well, we said he was this price last year, so he's this price again this season.
He's young, he's English, and he's... I don't know. It was
30 million they were hanging out for 35 million last year, and they've managed somehow after that season.
Yeah.
He had... I know there's mitigating circumstances, whatever.
It's this year's Sterling then, really.
It's worse. Sterling had a good season in front of... Well, a good season...
The year before.
In a bad team,
in a bad team. John Stones has had a bad season in a very bad team. I cannot get my head around the City team. We'll get into predictions. I have them high, but like I was in the pub watching the Community Shield, and I ended up watching the Aston Villa Sheffield Wednesday game because it looked a bit more competitive. But the Arsenal City friendly was up, and I was dying to watch it just to understand like what's going on this.
Well, Gundogan's not fit.
He hasn't got rid of anyone. Gundogan's not fit. He bought a few young lads for a lot of money, but that's just what City do. I have no idea what their team is. I
haven't heard of like half their signings.
Bonnie and Nasri are going.
Wilfred Bonnie's things with Arsenal.
Yeah. Speaking of Everton, here's a surprise. When you talked about Griezmann earlier, the man does what happens every year where somebody who's not playing for like, let's see, Atletico did get to Champions League final. It's a bit different.
Yeah, Barca, Madrid, or Bayern.
But through an international tournament, there'll be somebody who's, if not the player of the tournament, one of the players, and that's when they get picked up by a bigger team. Are you surprised that today is the very first time that Griezmann has been rumoured with a move away?
I think he signed a new contract.
He signed a new contract before the Euros. He's not going anywhere.
I just...
Who's linked to him?
Arsenal.
But Arsenal are also...
Oh, they've been... No, look, Wenger didn't buy anyone over.
Well, he's French. He's French.
Wasn't there that story that they had to lock him in a closet to sign Ozil? Because he is like a veto sort of thing, and they're like, he's not worth that money. He's not worth that money.
My god!
They literally had to like not call him or pretend his phone was off.
You were talking about Cavani last year, possibly moving. Last year, Wenger flew over to Paris, and he was looking at Rabiot and the midfielder and Cavani, and PSG were willing to listen to offers, and he goes, "We'll take Rabiot on loan," but they couldn't agree a fee, and they were like, "Cavani 40 million." And they're like, "No, we'll give you like either 15 million or a loan deal." And like, they're like, "You can have him. We'll get the deal."
They do have money though, don't they?
But that's
Wenger
they're sitting on it like a treasure chest. Like.
Wenger came out
Didn't they
this
buy
week.
that defender today though?
He hasn't gone through yet, but he says he's agreed terms, so it will go through. But it probably won't.
For 30 million, didn't they?
Who?
Xhaka.
Xhaka for 29 million. Yeah.
Wenger said he was scared to retire this week, which is the biggest indictment of a manager who needs to leave.
He's only one year left in his deal as well. This is his final year, so it'll be interesting now where it ends, because this is.
They're trying to sign or they're trying to get an extension on Ozil, and supposedly he wouldn't mind going back to Madrid. Came out today.
Would he go back? Would Madrid buy him back?
If they got rid of Ham, yeah.
If Zidane likes him, yeah, I can see it happening.
He was so good. All right. Why did he leave in the first place?
He is very good.
Okay. By the way, these are all John's words. Everton put Balassi and Williams in their team like a fantasy football player who thinks they're being clever. What does that mean for Lukaku? Balassi coming in from Palace.
30 million.
Balassi has 9 goals in his 3 seasons for Crystal Palace.
And most of them against Liverpool, right?
Yeah. I think I saw one.
Like, listen. This Lukaku thing, like, it's so embarrassing, is it not, for a club
Chelsea,
to do what Man United did with Pogba?
Had, years ago, they had Drogba, and then they got rid of Drogba, and they brought in Lukaku, right? They then have Lukaku, and they get rid of him for Costa.
Yeah.
Then they want to get rid of Costa, and they want to... then they replace Lukaku with Drogba. So they let Lukaku out, bring Drogba in.
Yeah.
Then they bring in Costa to replace Drogba.
Mm-hmm.
Then they take out... Now they want Lukaku to replace Costa.
You have to also remember with all that, like, it is mad, but it is a change of managers. Like, Lukaku's a headless chicken, so it doesn't work in a Mourinho team. While
I think
Costa does work in a Mourinho team, but obviously he's like a decrepit old man now, so Conte isn't interested.
And he's not a bit of a madman.
It's just surprising, like, the idea.
I bet when we see him on Saturday, I think, who do Chelsea have?
It's Monday.
Oh, it's Monday.
Monday against West Ham.
West Ham, which I think they'll lose. But I think we'll see Costa like 20 stone overweight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll have to wheel him.
See Higuain, by the way.
Big lad, is he?
Big lad.
He had a...
That's an embarrassing amount of money as well.
That is embarrassing.
He's the biggest baller in football.
Yeah, well, he did have an amazing season last year.
Yeah, but
he
they didn't win anything.
Yeah, he celebrated a lot from breaking the record for most goals in a Serie A season.
Big max in a year.
But, like, I just think it's embarrassing that, like, it shows that not only is money no object, but kind of pride is no object as well. Like, because, like, although we're talking about different managers, it's still the same owners that are buying back these players.
It does look like Chelsea have said no. Everyone have asked for 42, and they've said no. But I think these, I don't want to ruin predictions, but in surprise package, like, I heard odds on Everton to get relegated, and I was like, yeah, because they sold John Stones.
Funny you mentioned that.
Everton were very bad last year. They got a decent manager in now, but they look to be selling a lot of their best players. Balassi is flash, for lack of a better word. That's a word Dan likes to use. He's strong and pacey, but he's not going to do it all this season.
And he's not young as well. Balassi isn't young.
Ashley Williams, like,
26,
Liverpool
27.
fans always kicked up a fuss whenever he was linked with us because of the money. I guess he's a good signing. Coleman's past it. Baines is about 35 years old now. He's slow. I don't think this Everton team is going to be up to much now.
Okay. Sunderland signed 2 United defenders, McNair and someone.
It was Donald Love. By the way, he made his debut for Man United on Valentine's Day last year. I think that's the greatest stat.
That's
ever.
pretty good, actually. They're looking to sign Januzaj, which would make it 12 United players to Sunderland in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, Brown and O'Shea.
That could be a
Come
teaser.
That could have been. Januzaj, much like Schweini, has been told to train with the reserves. And unlike Schweini, the consummate professional, Januzaj has been very vocal about how it's ruining his life. It's amazing, isn't it? He goes to Dortmund, and Dortmund ruin his life, and he comes back to United, and United ruin his life.
So there's Man United fans started to think that maybe he's not that good.
I think it's a bit of the.
Do you remember England had that massive thing? It's like get him to play. He's English. It's like he's like Albanian.
Didn't they have the same thing with Ravel Morrison and all that sort of stuff? Like
Didn't they have the same thing with Grealish?
It's the thing that Sky do, the 24 hours news Sky cycle, where they just absolutely, like, he scored 2 goals for David Moyes' United to beat Sunderland.
Yeah,
and he was treated like a god. You know what I mean? Like everyone wants to be that next.
he could have played for 7
sort of
countries, and England, he said, was like lowest of his list. He'd rather play for like it was like Albania, Switzerland, and like
he'll be a
Belarus or something like that.
one of those, things that pop up on MSN, like famous football young players. Where are they now? It's like he'll be in the Big Brother house in 2020.
Do you honestly believe that he'd be famous enough? What's going on with Mata, lads?
Is he staying?
What was the substitution? We take
That
on
was,
face value?
that was a real dig at him.
Was it?
Why
Of course it was.
When I watched
that
it,
was Mourinho just being Mourinho. He goes, I brought on Mkhitaryan because he's taller. He's 3 inches taller.
I
He's
thought
not that
Mata was
tall
holding his
himself.
knee, though. Was it not a protective?
No.
Mata-
Jose said it was because he was the smallest player on the pitch.
And he goes, there'll be a lot of high balls into the box.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
I don't know why Mata's still there.
It's a bit of a coincidence.
like he was brought on like 62 minutes.
Yeah.
He was taken off after 89.
I'm surprised he didn't go to Everton.
It's the most embarrassing thing for a footballer that
Yeah, it is.
Unless it's like a red card and you have to be sacrificed or something
No,
like
it's a
that.
Mourinho
Or
thing. He always he did it. He did it with Terry last year. Do you remember in that City?
Man
game?
City.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably a statement. Well, they're also getting ripped apart, though. That was a bit different.
Yeah,
But like,
There's a Ranieri quote here, and we have a special teaser question about Leicester for our predictions. But it's a quote here. I didn't hear it today. It says, Claudio Ranieri believes it's more likely that aliens will land in London than Leicester successfully defend their title.
I think that's a safe bet.
he signed a new deal there.
You don't say that, though.
After the Community Shield,
Well,
he
look-
says once we stay up, it's a good season. Like he's starting all over again.
Okay. Oh, well.
Well, look, I think he can say what he wants, and Leicester fans won't care, will they? Like, well, they're not just named the King Power Stadium, the Claudio Ranieri Stadium.
No, King Power's a much better name.
Sissoko came out today and said he's still waiting for Madrid to sign him.
That's who they're waiting to sign this year. The big
Which
signing.
Madrid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing that he's
So
still
look,
at
like
Newcastle.
Newcastle could potentially cash 35 million on Wijnaldum and like 30 on Sissoko, and they get
Wasn't 35,
relegated.
was it? 20 something.
20-something.
Well, then maybe it's the other way around. But it's like 30 odd million for Sissoko. Is that?
Okay, let's talk about the results from the 2 cups that were contested over the last week. Community Shield. I only saw the highlights of this, but Dan informed me that it was the shits.
I liked it.
Fellaini did a Fellaini.
Fellaini.
Fellaini's back pass was the greatest of all time, and Vardy, who looked pretty sharp in the first half, put it away.
Speaking of players who shouldn't be at Man United, like you're talking about Mata. Like, how is Fellaini?
Fellaini's more.
How is he still at that club?
He's
He's been like
still
4
be
years
there.
now, 3 years. Like,
He's an absolute Mourinho player. I can see him starting most games.
It seems that he fancies
can't do
he
anything.
fancies Fellaini more than Schneiderlin, which is insane.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
thought
not
that
have
was surprising.
Schneiderlin and Pogba as your defence? They
I-
can talk. They can talk to
I
each
was
other in
with United
French.
fans, and you should have seen like the look on their faces because they were watching the Kilkenny match because the Blue Havens, one big screen and one very small screen.
Yeah.
They were watching the hurling, and they went up and they're like, "All right, whose hair is that? Oh God, Fellaini's starting.
Yeah.
Big blonde thing hair on him. Fair play to him. His back pass was hilarious. I think Leicester could be in trouble judging just on that Lingard goal because he ran in a straight line.
Yeah, could Conte make that much of a difference, or is
well,
it
they
just
haven't
one match?
really replaced him, have they? Like,
No.
they got your man Musa, looks very good up front, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's got amazing goals in his personal.
Oh yeah.
Like, is Andy King just got into midfield, it looks like?
Yeah,
Mm.
looks like it.
You know?
And then Ibra got the winner at the end, and the commentary and all the newspapers the next day, mostly Man United apologists, were saying, well, this is Ibrahimovic. He's the kind of guy who will be anonymous for a long time and then pop up and score the winner. Now, I'm not saying that isn't true, but do you think that with his age and the pace of the game, that's the only kind of Ibra we'll really see?
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen Wes Morgan got bullied once last season.
Okay.
And he, like, you know,
He's a hell of a big guy.
he is a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you see him starting most games, yeah?
Oh yeah.
For the start of the season, yeah.
Okay.
He had he had Martial out in the wing again.
That's where he's staying, I think.
It looks like maybe he'll like
I think
most
it's
Mourinho
forward.
teams. He has someone else in the wing.
Only because they don't have
Well,
wingers, but I think Martial's number 9.
Then he took off Martial and put Rashford out in the wing. Like I said it when Mourinho came in, like he'll destroy him. I can't think of a young player. Although Mourinho came out with 42 names during the summer there.
That was also I saw that. I actually did a bit of research and stuff, and I found all the players he got. Yeah. Firstly, it wasn't 42.
No.
Secondly, none of them have done anything. I think like 3 or 4 of them have honestly gone on and actually been decent people like Jesse, Morata.
He had Robin in it. Just like
he was getting players just literally from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I'd say he had people like who did he put? I think he put Casemiro in there as well. It's like, oh, I signed him. Yeah. It's like, yeah, well, like it's people like that he never played.
No.
And like, oh yeah, that's my player. Like,
A few questions for John here. Will anyone beat Eric Bailly?
He was incredible. Bailey, centre back for United.
I know.
Incredible. Like he had Vardy literally in his pocket all day. Bar Fellaini's back pass. Vardy wasn't getting anywhere.
Commentators made a mention when you picked up the card that his discipline is a question. He almost gets booked in every game.
He's as I said when he signed. I don't know if it was on, probably wasn't on the show, but can you imagine like a really young version of Colo Torre?
Yeah,
that's what this guy is like. He can play full back. He played full back a few times last year for Villarreal on the right side. You don't know what he's going to do. That's I'm surprised Mourinho bought him for as a centre half. Like he can be really good at times, but then he just like he does the Colo. Like you don't know what he's going to do. He'd be that sort of defender. He plays with his heart. Strong. He's fast. But I still think there's a weakness in that back four.
The Super Cup.
Well, I don't think Valencia should be playing right back.
They've no full backs.
Yeah, they didn't get a full back.
I honestly I was surprised. I didn't know a lot about him. Like I knew what Dan said. I don't really trust defenders coming from the Spanish league, but I thought he was absolutely great. Like we said about Wes Morgan getting bullied, I hadn't seen anyone control Vardy. Like he was quick, he chased everything. I just thought he was absolutely incredible. If you can imagine
Colo during the Invincible years,
yeah,
or even the last like couple of years, he's like really good, but then he can be like, geez, what the hell's he doing? Like, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'll miss him. Super Cup. Seville 2, Real Madrid 3.
Really interesting. Seville had like 65% possession.
Yeah, but that's what I had.
No, but it was weird though for Madrid. Like, you know.
Well, maybe it's because half the Real Madrid team, like Bale, Ronaldo, Pep. Well, Ronaldo's injured, but honestly, I looked at Real Madrid team. Like there was Ramos and Morata, but I was like, who are these players? I didn't really recognize.
Yeah, two last minute goals for.
Yeah. Oh, that Carvajal goal
time and an extra time.
It's nothing worse than a 119-minute goal to take away penalties. It's really looking.
So upset. Had on the orchard.
Did you see Ramos's disallowed goal, the diving header?
Yes,
it's really nice.
He loves scoring in finals, doesn't he? And stuff?
Absolutely does. Like
loves doing it.
It's so funny when they lift the trophy. It's almost like they're told. Obviously, it's not a trophy that anyone cares about because you didn't have Ronaldo and Bale there, like running down. But it honestly looked like all right, and smile for the photo and go on. Like Zidane was like, yeah. Are we done? We're done. Also, Zidane named his son third goalkeeper for Real Madrid.
Oh yeah,
nepotism.
I didn't know he was a goalkeeper.
Nepotism. I didn't know he was a goalkeeper either.
Yeah, he's got a couple.
I thought he was a midfielder or a striker.
I think he's got a couple.
It would be nepotism if he was a centre mid that was named as the third place keeper.
No, he might be going to the Championship or to Middlesbrough or something. The midfielder one.
Okay.
There was that link with Karanka.
You mentioned that here on the script that we want to talk about friendlies and you don't because they're useless. I don't even want to talk about Liverpool beating Barcelona 4-0 because we lost to Mainz.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I don't know. There could have been something. That
Leeds beat Shamrock Rovers 3-0.
There you go. See,
there you go.
2 friendlies mentioned already.
All right. Okay, Dan. Any news about? Yeah, just take a minute or two and tell us about anything interesting in the Championship, and then tell us about the saga that's going on in the League of Ireland.
Nothing happened in the Championship last week anyway. A few teams won and lost, but we won't get into that. It's not very.
Rafa lost.
Yeah,
and his team was absolutely. Controlled by Fulham had sold their best player like 3 days earlier.
Okay.
And also Newcastle had bought Diami from Hull, who I thought was one. I thought that was quite cheap, and two, when we watched the playoff final, he was the best player.
Yeah,
looked absolutely Premier League quality. So I'm surprised.
Diami is a good player.
They did play 5 new players though, Newcastle. So give them time.
Yeah, Leeds didn't have a very good start, but yeah, whatever. The League of Ireland thing now.
Yeah.
Have you been following this, John?
Sort of. Yeah.
What's your opinion on it?
That's a bit insane, isn't it?
In terms of what?
Well, they want like, was it Pats? Is it?
Pats and Derry have said no.
Well,
Pats are at war at the moment.
Pats are at war because Pats have asked for like basically the FAI's books and more information because the FAI said that it's first payment of many, and Pats want to know how many because it's like.
Well, at the moment it stands at €20 a week for 5 years.
What?
That's what the payment is at the moment, and it's less than 1% of what Ireland got from the Euros. And they've only started doing this because Dundalk have reached the Europa League and possibly the Champions League if they beat Legia Warsaw, which, by the way, is not beyond the realms of possibility. That one, they got a handy draw.
And FAI's point is that the Pats spokesperson didn't bring anything up in the meeting.
I wouldn't believe anything they say. Those guys,
Yeah.
I would not believe one thing.
And Pats are very strong on the whole. John Delaney shouldn't be there anymore.
Well, he shouldn't be. It's like, look,
which I agree.
Like, you know, I don't know.
Did I cover that well enough? I think.
Yeah, it was
Like
pretty good.
you were talking about it, Neil. I remember we were talking about it last week in the Orchard.
Oh yeah.
And you had a good few opinions as well, but it's just the whole thing's a mess. But like you can't just go like what they should be doing is giving like like they should be getting professional marketing companies and advertising companies and getting professional businessmen in to help these actual clubs because it's all volunteer work. Like that's all it is, and they don't have time to do it. You know, 7 days a week and all this. Like that's the issue with it.
Yeah, the one thing is like I understand the complaint and it's a valid complaint. But the two arguments against it are it's one, it's better than nothing, and two, if you don't take
£5,000 will not do anything.
Yeah, but what's the alternative?
The alternative is okay.
Because I think if everybody says no, then they'll get nothing.
No, I would see there will be a break off of the League of Ireland in the next 2 or 3 years.
Start their own league.
Well, the FAI didn't own the League of Ireland until like 2003, 4. And
it's gone up and up since then.
They took it over. Remember they called it the Aircom League?
Sure.
They took it over then. And I'd say since then, 10 clubs have gone bust. Since they started running the league. Attendances are getting worse. And there's no structure at all to try and help it.
Didn't they find someone the other day?
That's also another thing as well. They're fining the prize money they're giving out. Dundalk, for example, the money they're getting off this Champions League run. That's the same amount of prize when you win the league like 50 years in a row.
Yeah. No, I just mean they find someone for not having a game, even though.
Yeah, it was Athlone Town versus Waterford.
Yeah.
Athlone Town have zero money. I mean zero. They've actually nothing. They told their players you have to drive down to Waterford yourselves and pay.
Can I ask a question about?
We haven't been paid. So then the match was abandoned, not started, and the FAI went and fined Athlone, and they've no money. And it's just this. It's nonsense. Like the FAI actually earn money from the League of Ireland because the prize money is so low. The amount of fines they give out is actually higher. So they're actually taking out of the League of Ireland and making a profit from it.
Can I ask a question about Dundalk?
Yeah.
So they got what, 4 million?
At least 5.5. 6.
Okay, 5.5, 6.
They get it from the group stage of the Europa League.
Yeah. So
not including the Champions League if they get it.
Yeah. So they're guaranteed that, right? Why have they not come out and said no yet, like Pats and Derry?
Well, I think that's what people want to come out. I think I'd say there's been meetings that say with a lot of them, these clubs.
There's no excuse though for them not to come out yet, because
that's the issue because they need to get
$5,000 against 5
sure
million.
They want the FAI on side, like they are giving them the Aviva.
Oh,
so
well,
they're
getting they won't sell out the Aviva though.
They might £15 a ticket. I know like a good few people who are going to it now.
Oh, I'm gonna go. But
I'd go to it if I wasn't going on holiday.
I'm gonna go to it, but it's
the
issue is they need to get Dundalk, Cork, Rovers, and Bows. If they can get those 4, they're the biggest clubs in Ireland. To say no, especially if Rovers do it, because the FAI then will freak out for say no. So I'd watch this space with it, but it's going to keep going on, and I can see a break off.
All right, lads. I'm not going to ask you for scores, but just winners in match round 1 of the Premier League this weekend. Unfortunately, we're not starting off with Friday Night Football. I thought that they were going to introduce on the first weekend. Okay, so Saturday we have defending champions Leicester against Hull City.
Triple captain Vardy in your fantasy teams. That's going to be a slaughter.
Okay, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, Palace and West Brom. That's an interesting one.
Draw, I'd be surprised.
Maybe Palace, Pardew might have a bit of a new season, bit of oomph about them.
Okay,
maybe Palace to nick it.
Everton and Spurs.
I think Spurs will walk that. Coleman and Lukaku are missing it. I'm not sure if Balassi and Williams will be ready to play, and if they do, they are new signings. I'd fancy Spurs with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Spurs. I don't know how fit Spurs players are there. They haven't really had a great summer either. They did buy your man Janssen up front to help Kane out.
And Wanyama.
Wanyama's a very good signing.
Okay. Middlesbrough against Stoke City.
Borough.
Burnley against Swansea City.
Swansea paid 15.5 million for a striker today.
Yeah. They've also bought Lorente as well.
He'll never play it since they bought it. I
I'd
like
go-
Swansea's manager. I fancy Swansea for that.
Who's at home again?
Burnley.
I'd go Burnley. First game of the season back in Premier League. Burnley.
And Man City and Sunderland are playing.
Man City 5-0.
Okay. Sunday, Bournemouth and United.
Man United 2-0.
Arsenal, Liverpool.
Draw.
I think Liverpool win it.
Okay. And Chelsea and West Ham.
West Ham.
Chelsea.
Okay, excited. We ready?
Will we be watching
And that's
that
the
on
prediction
Monday?
show
On the
over,
show on
guys.
Monday?
I think that would probably be the best thing to do. Yeah. To answer your question. All right, here we go, guys.
Oh wait, is that in Stamford Bridge or
That
in the Bridge.
is at...
what is opening day Monday Night Football at West Ham's new stadium?
Yeah, you think?
Oh, by the way, the Spurs fans are going mad again. They got another away match start of the season, and they're working at all the percentages, how many home games Arsenal have had since the Premier League started. It's like, it's a random draw. Stop.
Yeah, just
stop.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll do my best to take
It's
these
not
down
random because Liverpool asked for a away game.
as we're going.
I'm sure if you can ask for a away game, you can have it.
Anyways,
Okay, prediction 1.
Or you want to play at home.
I want to play at home.
Right, so I'm going to go John, Dan, and myself in order.
Do we
Okay,
give a reason or do we?
you can talk as much as you want, but whatever, I don't care. Champions League winner. We start with 5 points on the table for this bad boy. Okay.
I don't think any of us have even got this right. Ever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Manchester City to win the Champions League.
That is absolutely
Okay.
right.
All right. He's pretty good in the Champions League.
He hasn't won it since 2011.
Shut up. Yeah, but Bayern always get to the semis. Anyway,
It's Bayern. They're much better than City.
okay, I'm going with that.
They were mentioned.
See, Godongan will be back when they get into, the group round.
then he'll- his
if
kneecap
they're
will
still
fall
in the
out.
Champions League,
His kneecap will fall out.
Yeah, I know.
I think they're the best overall squad. I think they're the best manager. Bayern Munich.
The 1 year I don't pick Munich. Okay, so John is going with Bayern.
Well, they have a manager who can actually win it now.
Okay, and Dan,
Well, John can read out mine just to prove I'm not copying.
Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Bayern as well.
Yeah, I think Ancelotti is. I rarely bet against Ancelotti in a Champions League. His record is really probably second to none in that tournament. And also, Bayern have been knocking on the door. I know, John, we won't get into the Pep thing, but to be fair, they've been knocking on the door to win it. They've been semi-finals, I think, every year for the last 5-6 years.
Although
I've
I do
I've picked
agree,
them the last 2 years.
I do agree they've been knocking on the door, but in most semi-finals they've been absolutely humiliated. And last year they threw it away. Wasn't that Atletico?
No, it's Juve.
No, it was Atletico the last.
Was it Atletico?
Oh,
Juve
well,
nearly
sorry.
beat them, remember?
Juve
They
nearly- they beat
yeah,
Juve.
yeah,
in the
exactly,
quarters,
like
sorry.
they-
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, since they won it, the year two, like even 2010, there were a lot of semis and finals. I think they're due a win, Bayern. They're due a win.
Okay, all right.
Take the stranglehold away from Spain.
All right. Now, top scorer Champions League. I'm going with Luis Suarez.
Ronaldo.
And me again, Ronaldo.
Lads, you're so boring. Okay.
It's his last season.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, Ronaldo got me the elusive point last year that won it for me.
Actually, when is
Did you only
Ronaldo
win
back?
by 1 point last year?
I think I beat John by a point or 2 points. I definitely beat you anyway.
Do we know when Ronaldo's back?
He'll be back, I'm sure, for the group stages sometime. He'll score 5 goals against Ajax and Malmo.
I'd pick Messi, but he looks like an absolute sack with that hair. So I'm not.
See his assist?
No.
He had an overhead kick assist from
Oh,
6 yards.
I heard about it.
It was actually quite good. It made his hair look a little bit better. What is he doing?
Don't know.
What the
Bit
fuck
of a
is he?
freak out.
Okay. Assists Champions League. I'm going with Marco Reus.
Hmm.
Yep.
Assists, eh? I'll go Leo.
Okay.
He got it last year, and I think his team's going to go further. So I'm going with Coleman.
Kingsley Coleman.
Yeah.
Is he with Juventus or Bayern?
Bayern, I think.
I don't know.
I think he's back at Juventus.
He
isn't
could be, yeah.
Get it for Juventus then.
Okay.
By the way, can I say Juventus are a serious dark horse for the Champions League this year?
No. Their
Absolutely.
midfield has gotten weaker than it was last year.
Oh,
No,
I
Pjanic.
don't know. I think.
Pjanic.
I think there's.
And Marquisio is back to fitness.
I think they're not as good as the team they had 2 years ago.
Well, no midfield
But-
has ever been that sexy.
But yeah, I think Juve could
Pogba,
be.
Vidal, Marquisio, and
Pirlo.
Pirlo. Are you kidding me?
It's pretty sexy.
Jesus
And let's us also not forget last year when they're playing
Steven
against Bayern
Gerrard and
Munich.
Xabi Alonso, Harry Keel.
Weren't they
Shut
5
up.
minutes away from knocking out Bayern last year?
They were, yeah. Okay. Now, I have these in wrong order. I don't want to hop around. I want to do the Premier League all in one. FA Cup winner.
Arsenal. Because I realise I've nothing else in that one go. Wenger will want to have his last ever game winning an FA Cup and then go, oh, he signed a new contract. And he's there for another 10 years. He will never retire.
Okay, Dan goes with the Gooners. And John?
Are we going to have the same thing the whole way?
I was honestly thinking that. I'm looking like...
Don't let my go pick you off. Because I'm always right. So you could be a long
I think Pochettino is terrible at cups. Klopp will probably lose the final. I don't know about the City team. I think United will be focusing on the league. I'll go with Man United. But now I realise that. Never mind.
So you just said United will focus on the league. Man United to win the FA Cup.
I just think they're...
I think they'll have bigger fish to fry this year than the FA Cup.
Europa League, like.
I think Mourinho will want to win every single tournament, but he won't give a shit about the FA Cup.
I'm going to go with Spurs. Okay.
That goes
League-
against
Spurs
everything
win their
I've ever...
first tournament in 20
Yeah.
years.
It also goes against everything I've seen Pochettino do in
Yep.
any cup ever, but alright.
Well, about 17 years actually.
League Cup.
No, they won the League Cup in 2008.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
League Cup. I'm going to go with Liverpool.
We do love it.
We love the League Cup. Always close.
I'm gonna go with the Red Men as well.
Wow. Okay. We did almost all three of us watch every League Cup game Liverpool were in last year. It was very fun. John? Go on, do it.
They absolutely love this competition.
Leicester.
Mourinho,
Oh.
Manchester United.
I almost
Oh,
wrote down Chelsea there.
My predictions are going to go one way for the rest of this.
Man United is never. Yeah. Ooh. Mourinho will actually want that, won't he? He'll want it just to put out a statement.
You can't change it now. Also, we brought in a rule that on the last day of the transfer window, when we do a show, we can change one prediction.
One prediction.
Yeah.
Did we bring that rule?
Yeah. Do you remember I brought it?
Okay. Here's what I'm
One
going
prediction.
Here's what I would suggest,
Leicester.
if I may. Okay. There is going to be I'll get to it in a minute, but rather than just change one prediction, there's two predictions that are specifically about individuals.
Okay.
So I think by the last day of transfer window, you can change both if you want.
Okay.
But just those two. We'll get to them in a minute. Okay. Championship, I'm going to go with my beloved Rafa. Against all odds.
I think you'd be mad not to look at Newcastle or Norwich, and I'm gonna go Newcastle.
Okay, Dan is also going with Rafa. And John?
Wednesday.
Good show.
Okay.
Newcastle, Norwich, Wednesday. Probably be the three.
Okay. Right. All right, here we go. Premier League. Start with
I honestly haven't even done half these.
This is a big one. Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention everything there. Champions League winner is 5 points. Everything else was 2 points, except for the assists in the Champions League. I put a random number of 4 points if you get that
I
one
would
right.
have a good 25 points.
I know, it should have been a big one. All right.
Can I just say the Premier League predictions? I said it last year. The first year we did it, I was pretty sure my top four, and I got the first top three right, and I got fourth and fifth wrong.
Yeah.
We're not only doing top 4 this year because of the.
Are we
because
doing
of the
top four
madness.
this year?
Only doing top 4.
I want to do top 6.
He went to do top six. I think
That's
top six
fine.
is more exciting.
Oh, fine.
Just have 1 point for each place.
Well, I actually was going to have. I was going to do something different.
Well, what's your plan?
Okay, no, it's okay. We can still do it. It just means it's less likely that my big point bonus. I was going to give a big point bonus for,
All 4.
all 4.
Well, you can still do that.
Yeah, but it's going to be
The
less
chances
likely.
of you getting all four right is probably very slim.
It's more than getting all 6.
Well, you could get individual points for that.
No, but there's
I
gonna-
got 2 points for
no,
my
there's
top
gonna,
four.
there's going to be individual points anyway.
Okay. Well, look, whatever. I don't mind. But yeah, I was just saying, you can think of what to do. But the first year we did this, I was pretty confident top 4. I got fourth and fifth wrong, which is Liverpool, Man United, that swing. Last year, I thought it was quite difficult again. It was getting harder. I got 2 right. And this year, I was saying to you, Neil, earlier, there's honestly, I can think of about 6 teams challenging for 4th.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I've got 6 teams, including a dark horse that I don't know yet.
This year is absolute lottery to pick.
All right, well, we're going to save that till the very end, because so I can explain the wacky rules.
Yeah.
But this is a special one now. This is 4 points as well. Where will Leicester finish? If you get this right, you get 4 points. Huge. Okay, I'm going with 8th. It's very pessimistic, but I'm going with 8th.
10th.
I'm not as pessimistic as Ranieri. Dan with 10. John?
I had them 6th.
Really?
Wow.
But then I completely forgot
That West Ham exist.
Good old West Ham.
Well, there's West Ham, Spurs, you know.
I completely forgot about the Champions League, and then I watched them in the Carling Cup. I feel like they're going to concede a lot of goals because the midfield doesn't look great, and your man looks like he can be class. He did score 2 goals in a friendly against Barcelona, but again, he also looked a bit like Milan Baros. Him and Gray looked good because they were pacey, but they didn't end up doing anything.
Hold on now as well. The thing about Leicester is we don't know about Mahrez yet. We don't know.
Mahrez said he'd stay.
Did he say he's going to stay?
He said he'd stay for this transfer window.
That doesn't mean he won't go in January.
Exactly.
But look, I don't know. I think he could still go. I said, remember you guys said last year, out of the 3 guys who will stay.
Yeah.
When I said Vardy will stay,
Yeah.
I would doubt the other 2. And I'd still have doubts of Mahrez.
Okay, come on. Where are they going?
9th.
Okay.
So we got 8, 9, 10?
8, 9, 10.
Okay. First manager to leave. First manager to leave or be sacked.
Pargiola.
Okay. I'm going with Tony Pulis.
I hope this actually lasts a bit, where a bit of tension keeps going, unlike last few years.
I
where
really
it's-
don't know. I can even have a dark horse at this one, even though he shouldn't be sacked. He's done a very good job. Aitor Karanka left his job back in March or April last year because of a fallout with the owner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the new Hull manager, and I don't know who he is. And it could be Mike Phelan, the new Hull manager.
Okay, I'm just putting down Hull.
Hull manager.
Right.
Right, so that is a ridiculous shout. It could end up being Alex Ferguson, their manager, and I just said he'll get sacked.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see some of these.
By the way, I said Ranieri would be sacked last year first.
Okay.
Better.
All right. Relegation.
John?
Hull, Burnley, and Watford.
Okay, now here's the thing. All right. This is for 2 points. However, an additional 5 if you get it in order.
Okay.
So I want it in order from 18th to 20th, please.
18th, Burnley. 19th, Watford. 20th, comfortably, Hull City.
Worries me that there's still a few Irish players there.
Okay.
Like Robbie Brady. Oh, no, he's not. Why do I keep thinking he was there before? He's in the championship. Sorry.
Right, Dan.
Hull lost.
Yeah. Oh, Hull last. Come on,
20th.
Okay. You're not helping.
I think they got rid of Sanchez Flores. I think Watford will go down 19th. Burnley will have a spirited fight, but I think they might just come short. And I'm also saying Sunderland, I want to go down. I want to get third that won't flush.
So what is it? Watford, Burnley, Hull.
Burnley 18th.
Burnley 18th. Okay.
Exactly.
Watford 19th and Hull City last. Hull City Tigers.
Okay. I'm going with Burnley.
If you go Watford, Hull, just skip this.
Sunderland.
Aston Villa. I hope Sunderland should go down, to be honest, but
And
I
Hull.
think they brought in some good players in January last year.
Bournemouth will stay up another year, Middlesbrough will stay up.
I think Watford and Hull are worse, and I just think Burnley don't have the quality.
Okay.
They'll give it all they have.
Yeah.
All right. Let me
It's never really
see.
enough, is it?
Okay. Now, before we do the 2 tricky ones, we're going to go into the individual guesses. So, top scorer in the Premier League.
The real deal.
Harry Kane?
Yep.
Interesting.
3 years in a row, wouldn't it be?
No?
No.
Was it? No. West
He
Ham.
was top scorer last, wasn't he?
No,
That was Kane.
it was Kane last year.
No, Aguero, Kane.
So, Dan?
3 years in a row, going for Aguero.
Fat man Aguero.
3 years in a row.
Name your. I think Joycey named his fantasy team. Always Captain Aguero.
All right. I'm going with Ibra. I know, yeah.
What's so funny?
I just think that if he was able to
If
come
he gets
into that
over
league,
15 goals,
Wow.
I'll buy his boat a point in the league.
And my 2 free nights out.
Of course. Well, I'll be included.
Assists. I am going to go with Mane. No, not really. I'm going with Xhaka.
What?
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka. Okay,
Yeah.
he's a DM. Okay, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Do you not see him in the Euros? The man has a pass.
Yeah. So does Ozil. He'll be finishing it off.
No, okay, I take it back.
No, you can't. You can't take that
I
back.
can't. I'm going with Mick. All right.
I can't believe that.
Dan?
That's so ridiculous.
It's
Like.
fine. Mick play 60 minutes most matches for a Mourinho team. You'll get one assist. Even if he gets an assist in every game.
I
he's
am
still-
going for, if he stays fit, I think he could be huge. Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, good shout.
Okay.
If he stays fit, if he's another 4 months out again, he probably won't do it. But
And John?
Ozil. Just because I
you
didn't have
can't
one
go
until I got
wrong,
it.
really. Can you? Like, I went for Cesc first 2 years, you know.
Okay. Now, let me explain how this works. This isn't... we're not going by... it's too random to just say 3 names and the chances that one of us are right, you know? Because we're going to go by statistics on this one. We're going to pick 3 players each for these 2 subjects. And we're going to go by their who scored rating at the end of the season. So the only people eligible for these awards are the 3 people we mention. So the first is the best money signing. So who will be the best money signing for over 15 million euro in the league? Okay.
Like, what, in terms of just stats? Like?
Yep. At the end of the league, of the 3 players that are mentioned here, the person who has the best
So we
stats.
pick 3 each.
Nope, we just pick one each. It'll be the 3 players. So who will be the best money signing for over 15 million?
Jordan Ibe.
That's okay.
We don't have to pick someone shit, do we?
No, like that's
No,
ridiculous because
anyone
I think Pogba will have better stats than Jordan Ibe by the end of the season.
Well,
so he's eligible.
If it's going by records, Ibe will do a lot more for Bournemouth, even if Pogba
No,
has a great
the
season.
who scored stats are just the cumulative stats of like overall ratings, so pass
like,
accuracy,
you could
goals,
have
assists.
Good pass accuracy. You could have a key pass. You could have an assist or a goal.
Yeah.
It's kind of minutes for playing and everything. And
Yeah.
It's,
So it's the fairest way to rate someone's overall season.
Ah,
if you want to pick one of the worst players at the window, you could pick Jordan Ibe if you want.
That's
Is that
that's
another
the
option?
that's the next question.
The worst player for over 20.
Worst player for over 20 though. I needed to cap it differently. So best player for
So
over 15.
Can I have a look at how this goal score thing? Because if it's like most important player, I can really see Ibe being good for Bournemouth.
No, it's not most important. It's literally the best. So, for instance, Luis Suarez was the best striker in Europe last year, and who scored over all the leagues. Statistically, the
everything.
best.
Okay, give me a few minutes.
Okay, Dan,
Over 15 million.
over 15 million.
Well, I can't think. I have to think of one because I didn't know we were doing these ones. So
Yeah, no,
you
these
got-
are
have
the
you got
random
one?
ones. I'm going to go with Mick again. He was my choice for that, so I might as well go with Mick. Now, here's the thing: these are when the transfer window is set.
Surely they have to play a certain amount of minutes because
They also have to be eligible. That's true. And if your
because
person,
you can't play 2
But-
games have a 10.
yeah,
and
but if your player is ineligible, you just automatically lose. Now, here's the thing: when the transfer window closes, you can change either of these. Okay, this is the one I was talking about that you can change because it also gives you more time to think about it. So maybe just say a name for the moment. But I'm going to go with Mick. Statistically, will be the best signing for over 50 million, I think.
I really can't think of anyone.
Well, we can come back to these next week.
Yeah, we'll come back to them.
Okay,
I'll
And
put down Hugo for Palace.
that's
He hasn't left yet.
Yeah, but
okay.
they're
We'll-
selling 2 players. They sold Balassi for 30 million. They're obviously going to buy.
I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it next week. So the other question is the biggest flop. So somebody who's been bought for over 20 million and whose statistically would be terrible. I'm going with IU for West Ham.
Really? I think he's very good.
I think he was good at the start of the season. So they're my 2.
Biggest flop.
Yeah. IU is a good shout.
I need to see the squad list.
It's not good enough for Liverpool. It's definitely good enough for Bournemouth.
Yeah, but this is over the league. The statistics over the league. It's not like for that team who's the best player. It's like over the league.
Oh, God. Come back to that.
Okay.
I-
So they're the ones we're going to come back to next week. Okay, here's the interesting one. Here's how we're going to do Dark Horse this year. The Dark Horse, okay, so the new guys in the Premier League, the new teams are not eligible for this award. And I don't think anyone would have picked them anyway. I know Middlesbrough can have an
I was
okay
thinking
season,
them.
right?
Okay.
So they're not eligible. You have to pick a team that are going to finish at least 3 places higher
They did last year.
than they did last year. But for every place they finish higher, you get 3 points. So if they finish 6 places higher, you're absolutely
18
quits in.
points.
But if they only finish 2 places higher, they're now ineligible. So that's how we're doing it. So the dark horse, who is going to finish
You know, it's a cheat answer for this. Right?
through what?
Chelsea.
Okay.
They finished, was it 10th?
Something like that. Yeah, they're like, I'll get 24 points when they win the league.
Okay, okay, hold on. That's a really good point. Can we disqualify Chelsea because we all think they're going to do well?
They're not a dark horse, but
How about this?
By your reasoning,
Are Chelsea all in your top 4 or top 6?
yeah.
Okay, so you have to pick a team who aren't in your top 6. There you go.
I am going to go for just 2 teams. I'm picking.
I'm going with Everton.
Everton. I was going to go for.
Okay.
Koeman will get them going.
If we were doing it by all rules, I was gonna pick Chelsea because I think they're gonna be a disaster this year. But I don't know. Everton are also gonna finish higher, I guess.
Everton finished like 14.
Yeah, I'll pick Everton as well. I'm not letting you guys take a tasty lead there.
Okay.
0 for everyone.
Yeah. Relegated this year.
Okay, and here is the opportunity. I'm not writing this down because you have it written down. Here is the opportunity for the most points. Top 6.
It's getting confusing.
No, tell me if this is confusing. Top 6, okay? You get 3 points. Sorry, I need to write down this. You get 3. Maybe it is confusing. You get 3 points for every team in the right place.
I wouldn't want to be adding this up at the end of the day.
No,
That's John's job.
No,
every
it's
season.
not. I can do because I have them here. I'll put them in an Excel sheet. Okay, 3 points for every right position. Yeah. 5 points
Champions.
for the champions. And an extra 10 points if you get all 6 correct.
You should be getting in a row.
Yeah.
You should be getting 100 points for that.
No, because then that you win. You win the whole thing.
Pretty sure you win the whole one if you get champions at this rate.
Yeah, champions is a good score. Okay, so
Okay, well, we maybe pick our 6th of every person, so I'll pick a 6. You
hold on,
pick a 6 and we'll
Dan,
work around.
you know the way you get 3 for every right place? The 10 if you get the whole thing right is additional. So it's
Okay.
basically like,
Alright,
an extra
so
30
this is the one you
points.
need to get right.
Yes, this is the one you need to get right. Okay, so I want from 6 to 1 for the sake of being dramatic here.
Okay, so I'll go number 6. I will go for 6. I'll go Spurs.
I am going to go with Spurs for 6th.
Liverpool.
Dan?
I've changed my view after what's probably going to happen with a transfer today. Liverpool are 5th.
Okay. What transfer is this?
Mustafi to Arsenal. I said if they get a good centre half and they get someone to help Giroud up front, a good striker, they'll be top 4. If they don't get that, they won't be there.
Okay.
Chelsea.
Chelsea for 5th. Chelsea for 5th. Okay. So me and you are the same so far, are we? No, you would Liverpool 6. Sorry. Okay.
I do think that that'll be an unmitigated disaster at Chelsea. They have no Champions League. I don't know what Conte's going to do. They still have a very aging team. They bought Kante, but what Kante did for Leicester was push everyone out to the wing where they have to cross the ball, where Huth and Morgan could deal with it. If he does the same thing with Chelsea, he has got Zuma and Cahill who can't deal with it. So I don't know. And I don't even think they needed him because I think Matic is good enough there. They still have Costa. They could have Hazard. If Hazard has a good season, they might finish in the top 4. They have Fabregas, who I think had a hair transplant. That's who.
What?
Yeah.
Was he even bald?
No,
He was
but
getting a
God
bit.
knows where he got it. But I have Chelsea there because on paper they're better than Liverpool and West Ham, who I think would challenge for that, and Leicester because Leicester.
By the way, West Ham were very, very unlucky not to get in the top 6, by the way.
Well, you know the way I picked Leicester to be 8th? Because I'm predicting West Ham 7th. Okay, so 4th.
The Gooners, of course.
Gooners. Liverpool. 3rd.
Chelsea.
Okay.
Spurs.
Oh.
They've made themselves better than last year.
Okay.
They don't have Europa League.
Gooners. 2nd.
City. Can't believe I'm saying this.
I have absolutely no confidence in them, but City.
Yeah.
City. So we're all going United 1.
That's
amazing. So
Southampton.
okay. So Dan, if you just wanted from top to bottom list your 6 off
Top
now.
to bottom. Okay, so the scum are top Man City,
Mhm.
Chelsea, Gooners, Redmen, and the Spurs.
Okay, so I have United, City, Gooners, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs.
You think you think Arsenal will be third?
Yeah.
United to have the league won by February. City, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool.
So
by
we
the
all
way, I'm
actually
only
have the
saying
same
Man United.
six.
What?
Nobody took a punt on West Ham and nobody took a punt on Leicester. We all have the same top six. That's interesting.
I would have had West Ham, except West Ham are in Europe and Liverpool aren't.
Yeah, that's
I think
very
Liverpool will
interesting.
be very, very close to top 4.
Mhm.
Very, very close.
How cute. I believe that before. Never again.
I think it's because we don't have Europe that I'm only putting us fourth.
I
You would have put them fourth
I think
anyway.
we've a bunch of lads
Maybe.
up front that might get a few goals between them, but
Who'd you have as top scorer this year?
for Liverpool, or
For Liverpool.
For everyone? The whole thing?
Ibra. Which
Ibra.
matches my
Oh, I thought it was like-
idea that
I was expecting
United...
Origi or
Yeah,
Ings.
why
or-
did you laugh at
Okay.
me when I said Ibra number 1 and you're picking United? Who's scoring all their goals?
it's a Mourinho team. They don't need to score a lot of goals. They'll win most matches 1-0.
Okay.
Well, generally, to be honest, though, generally, the big number 9, Mourinho scores most of the goals. He always has a focal number 9. He is a goal scorer.
That's
I
what I
don't
was
know how
thinking.
often Ibra will play. They also have Thursday nights. I just think a Mourinho team, he's every weakness they look to have, he seems to have filled it.
Step right back.
He'll play.
Darmian and Valencia.
Yeah, Valencia's doing the job there. I just don't know what City are about. I think Spurs have Champions League. That might slow them down a bit, but they've improved, so they were close to getting... I couldn't just break up City and United. It was close. Arsenal, there's no point. Even they're going to get fourth.
It's Wenger.
Wenger knows how to beat the bottom 10 at home. That generally gets you top 4. Chelsea, I think, will be a mess. And Liverpool, just...
Do you think Chelsea will be as bad as they were last year?
No, I'll have them 5th. That's like literally twice as good as they were last year.
Okay, guys.
Well, like, still way off the pace.
Absolutely.
It's
And you
hard
think
to make that
Liverpool
much of a
even
jump.
Way off that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think on
So you
I think on
it's
paper
a 2-horse race between the Manchesters?
I think it's a
Back
one-horse
to
race.
2012 season?
This is Ferguson after the year after City won the league in the last minute. This league is going to be boring as hell.
Mourinho
It'll be
versus
over.
Pep will be fun.
I don't think so. I think Mourinho will beat United.
I don't think it'll be
City
as fun.
in September. I think
Maybe it will, actually, because they're in the same city.
I'll-
It's different.
That's it.
I'm interested to see how Liverpool will start. Arsenal will always start well because that's what they do. Well, the first week they'll have a bad, then they'll start well, then they'll bottle it. I just think United will have this one before City get any legs.
You mean Godonga.
Exactly.
Kneecaps.
Okay, so any spoofers or interesting things, because the big request this year is to keep every show under an hour for commute. So 2 minutes, lads, and we'll give the fantasy code out. But anything funny you want to talk about? I just want to say I think that Klopp thing with Lovren was great.
Awesome.
Refused to talk to the Sun. And it was like, Hillsborough. But no, it was because they were about to release a thing about Lovren's supposed wife cheating on him. But so good man Klopp for defending his player before it even came out. Anything interesting or funny?
How long do you think before the press turns on Ranieri?
Never. They won't.
I think they're going to be very hard on him when things start going bad.
Yeah.
So turn on him is different.
They won't turn on him.
But I think
Like
that
the fans won't, and maybe that reason.
Well, how Wenger? They still haven't turned on Wenger.
They have. They turn on Wenger like the same time every year, and now they're just sick of him. Arsenal are and nothing. Arsenal are like Burnley and Middlesbrough will go up to the Emirates and will lose comfortably, and then that'll be it. And Arsenal will finish top 4.
any funny football stories this week, John? You're usually pretty good for them.
Jesus,
John Obi Mikel legally changing his name to John Obi Mikel.
did he?
It was John McKelvey, his name, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they got it wrong on his visa to play in England, so everyone always called him that. So he legally changed his name to it now.
It's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
One more thing about us that we're possibly doing these videos now,
Yes,
if we can
Yes,
get them
what's it?
going.
I thought it would be maybe a wise choice not to mention on the first show and wait till we release the first one. But you know,
Good point.
Well, there's no videos going.
we can pretend.
Let us know if we did it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, the Premier League fantasy code for this season is 2074323497811. We're going to put it in the comment section when we post the video anyway, so no real need to write that down. But please do join. Last year we had over 20 people. If we could get more this year, it would be excellent. It's always great fun. It's always about internal battle between me and John, and then Dan kind of having
Finishing second.
So that's all from the ITK Soccer Show. Enjoy the first week of Premier League action, and we'll be back live from the second half watching Chelsea and West Ham on Monday night.